So for the first solve, you got this cube shape, and for doing this you just did that 8 beginner method cube shape technique, but that's really bad for this kind of weird cube shapes. So instead of doing that, I would prefer you to learn the scallop kite technique, which is pretty much easy and effective while solving the Square-1. I have a detailed video on how to use that cube shape technique, so be sure to check that out. So for this particular cube shape, what you should have done is that there is two edges right up here, and bring this two edge to this equator line and do a slash. That will bring you to a shield square case, which is really easy to do. And just align the bottom layer and top layer and just do the algorithm, which is something like this. You do a slash, which bring you to a fist case, then do a -1 slash and kite -3 slash. That completes the cube shape. Moreover, I also noticed that you don't really have full idea on how pieces moves on Square-1, like there is slash, you just did to do a slash, but due to misalignment it didn't do. So be sure to improve that by doing more and more cube shape skill, like bring a cube shape and try to do as much as slice as you can without being locked up on the cube shape. And moreover, I also noticed that you are really not good at scrambling the Square-1, looking the notations like 3, -3, just like that. So be sure to improve that. That will really helpful in bringing your finger trick really good. After you did the cube shape, you got this particular CO case, and here after you do the first slash, you just kind of rotate 1-2 times. I don't know really why. And after you once again come to this position, you just did this slash, and you came to a really good EO cases. But you just again do something kind of this, like rotating the Square-1. That's really bad, because for a smooth solve on Square-1, you should fix this to thumb and use this middle finger right up to this left part of your Square-1, so that you can perform the complete arc in a really smooth way. So for this EP, you just did something like this, which is really good. And again, you just rotate quite a bit more just to see what the EP case really is, and you just bring this to a bit that is. But you, I think, that really don't know all the EO cases, so you just did some random else just like this, trying to solve the EO cases. So I would recommend you to learn all the EO cases. There is not so much, I think 6 to 8 EO cases, and they are worth it to learn them all. So for this particular cases, you should bring this edge to here and the bottom is to the back side, and do this particular algorithm. For your CP, you got this two green at your right side and this two red in left side. You just bring it to the front, and you did this particular algorithm, which is kind of great to learn from the front side. You should also know from back side, which goes something like this. For your EP, you got this particular EP with the edge parity at the bottom and a anti-clockwise parity on the top. What you did, you just did the parity algorithm that changes these two particular EP edges, but that is not the case because you have a parity right here. So for this type of case, when you have a parity at the bottom, you can just cancel this parity to the top layer by solving these tools, and the algorithm is something like this. Bring it here. That will solve the bottom layer while the parity has been moved from bottom layer to the upper layer, and in upper layer you then do the parity algorithm that you did. For your last EP, you got this particular EP cases, and you do something like this, which is really smooth to do but really not move count sufficient. So instead of doing something like this, you should learn a particular algorithm for this case, which is something like this. I have a complete list of basic EP algorithm in my playlist, so be sure to check that out. So for the second solve, you got this cube shape, kind of similar to that of first solve's cube shape. And for this also, as earlier you did the 8 option, as I said, you should learn the scallop kite. So for this particular case, using scallop kite, you should do something like this. Here are two edges, so take these two edges and slice through this layer to make a 4, something like this. Bring this to right up to here, and then do this algorithm. Here solve the cube shape. One thing that I noticed in your this cube shape solve is that while you were in a cube shape stage, you just remove your this left hand and hold the cube with your right hand holding the bigger bar of the cube, which is not really good. You should always hold the cube with your left hand throughout the complete solve, and that's really one of the key points that you should remember. After you did the cube shape, you got this particular CO, and your this CO execution was really smooth. And after that you got this EO, that is adjacent opposite, and you just mess around right up here, that you just rotate kinda like this. I think that you don't know the EP of this case from this upper layer, so you just flipped it and do this from this angle. Instead you should learn the EP from this case also, that is really easy to do. After you do the CO, you got this particular CP where you have all the bottom corners solved, and here is 2 corners that are solved, and you have to just alternate these 2 corners. But you did something different CP cases, so I assume that you don't know this, so be sure to check my playlist basic CP case. For this particular CP case, you should do something like this. Here is put in the back, and that's solve the CP. For your EP, you got this case that is kind of M2 of 3x3, and in top layer you got a U-perm. So for this, you just did that slice move for this U-perm, and something like that, something like this. But as I mentioned already, you should learn that basic EP algorithms from my playlist. And after that, you just rotated the whole puzzle, and you just did a left slice and did something like this. I assume that you did this for first thing. I think that to bring this small equator block to the left so that you are turning is quite easy to do, or to bring that bottom this EP sequence to the top so that you can execute it. Moreover, you also did this slice move algorithm for this EP case also. Instead, you should do this particular EP case for this M2 EP, that is M2 UI, M2 UI2, M2 UI, M2, and after that you have to once again just flip the color scheme to its correct place. That's kinda takes lots of time. That really increases your time, so you should not bring this bottom layer to the top layer and again bring the top layer to the bottom layer to solve the puzzle, and that's really insufficient to do. As I mentioned earlier, there is nothing to say more about the cube shape. Just learn the scallop kite technique. For your CO, you got a adjacent and a bar CO. What you did was just did a backslash instead of you should have done a forward slash. That is really efficient to do. Moreover, you just did a UI and did this, and I don't know why you just mess around from here a little bit and then finally do the slash once again. That you completed that CO. You should definitely reduce this annoying rotation of the cube. Just hold it right here and just see, execute, see, then execute, just like that. For your last solve, there is nothing more to say about the CP and EP. As I mentioned earlier, you should learn the basic CP and EP algorithms for the Square-1, and here are finally a few tips to improve your time to get to sub-40. So the first tip is to learn the scallop kite cube shape technique instead of that 8-edge cube shape technique. The scallop kite is far more efficient and it is not that hard. Secondly, during your cube shape and other stages of the solving Square-1, you should eliminate that annoying rotation of the cube. Thirdly, you sometimes hold your Square-1 instead of this small equator bar in the bigger bar, use and rotate something like this and you should probably stop that because that really decrease your TPS. Fourth tip is that you should stop the bringing of this bottom layer to the top layer to do the EP, and after you did the EP you have to again bring the top layer to the bottom layer to complete your sub. That's really increases your time. You should probably learn that particular EP algorithm from the bottom. And that's are my tips to get to sub 40 on Square-1. Thank you for watching. See you next time.